We're the Shift Doctors, and we have the pleasure today to be interviewing Marshall Smith, one of the founders, really, of Delphi University and Ancient Mystery School. And Marshall has taught courses there on spiritual anatomy. And finally, after years, he began to compile his wisdom of his teaching at Delphi in 2 books. Spiritual Anatomy, Book 1, The Cause.
And Healing of Disease.
And
Spiritual Anatomy, Book 2, The Cause and Healing of Disease. So we have 2 volumes. He taught a wonderful course which he's now retired from teaching, and now this is in book form. And we recommend that everyone get these 2 books. Why?
because it has a lot of wisdom in it, and I would like to hear from Marshall himself. What the purpose of finally putting this down in written form was.
A number of reasons. First being, I think the responsibility of a teacher is to make sure that once you quit teaching, that those things that you have learned and taught for so many years, to make sure it is in a form that can be passed down to others, can benefit from it. You don't want it to die with you. You've been only good to your own generation. With a book, you can carry it through many generations.
So it's passing the torch of that ancient wisdom on forward, which is wonderful. It used to be ancient wisdom was taught sort of underground and wasn't available. Why do you think now it's really coming out?
Because I think mankind as a whole has reached a state of consciousness that can absorb it and understand it and use it. So you might say, well, looking around, we're in pretty bad shape. But the underlying level there is a very deep spirituality amongst people, amongst almost all peoples. And they are now at the place where they're saying, let me know. So all writers and teachers are beginning to see and understand and pass it on to those others.
So is spiritual anatomy about how we can self-heal once we understand who we are?
And I like to say there is only one kind of healing, self-healing. Those who come to you as a healer is, I say they are facilitators of healing, not healers. So self-healing is
The only way to
the
heal.
only way to heal.
Right? Because no healing will take place unless we are open to receiving that, and it
That is
doesn't
correct.
come from any healer.
No.
It inspires. I think you used to talk about we or anyone who has been labeled as a healer really just inspires the person to open up to receive.
They give the reason, the patient the reason to open up, and they make it easy for them to say yes. Because I had an experience on an occasion of a lady that I decided to use some of that which I was teaching on her in etheric healing, and I told her, I said, I looked at her and I said, do you think we can do this? And at first she looked extremely frightened, like telling me, what do you mean? I'm coming to you to take care of me. I said, do you really believe we can take care of this? We can do it. And all of a sudden a light came in her eyes and she said, yes. I knew the healing was complete. I had to go through the steps to confirm to her that I was the healer, I guess I would assume. 2 weeks later, we got a call from her daughter saying that her cancer of the liver was in remission and she was on top of the world.
And you've had a lot of stories like this.
Like that. So I did nothing except to lead her. I did no healing. She did the healing. If I say yes, I can.
Very good. One of the most fascinating parts of spiritual anatomy, of course, I was very drawn to that, that course, and it's one of the things that led me to Delphi. But when you were teaching the course, you were teaching us towards the end reflective etheric healing,
Right.
which is a powerful process. Could you describe a little bit of that? You know, you can't teach someone that, but just what's an understanding of what that process is about?
Well, all healing begins in the etheric body. Now, everyone doesn't have an understanding of the etheric body, but it is a subtle body that exists about 1.5 to 2 inches outside of your physical body. And everything that happens to you happens in that body first, and it then happens there and then moves into your physical body and into your senses so that you can know what's happening. So what we do in this healing is, if there's a particular part of your body that needs healing, we use the process of bringing healing through the etheric body in the same process as the body was created in the first place. In other words, we're using the creational process to change your body. And it's a stretch for most people to say, yes, we can replace something in your body through etheric methods. But it is not so strange. In fact, I will go as far as to say that it is already happening, and sometime in your near future you will see it happening quite frequently. It is actually replacement through etheric methods, parts of the body that are diseased. But let me say, first, you must first go to basically a thought surgeon. Because everything begins with a thought. And that disease in your body is caused by an errant thought. And that condition will not change until that thought is changed. So you must first change the thought. Because if you do and somehow affect the healing through that, then it's going to return. Because the thought will continue to do its work.
Because you will recreate the issue by constantly holding that thought.
And that is a confirmation of just what I said, because the thought itself is the creator, as you said.
So we create our own illness and
Absolutely.
dis-ease at all instances.
Yes.
And does everyone self-heal in the same way? Or are we symptomatic of the same problems equally? I mean, if I have problems with my knee and she has problems with her knee, do we have the same underlying thought issue?
No. It is far more complex than that. Because just take for example, stomach ulcer.
Okay.
We all will agree that that's basically caused by a worrisome lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So so therefore that worrisome lifestyle is really the category.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there are many things can comprise a worrisome lifestyle, different things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unique to each person. And that, like your knees, is unique to you. You created that with far entirely different set of thoughts than she did.
So you have to get to the thoughts first, and then you can do etheric surgery.
Now, I will say that I've been asked on many occasions to compile a list of diseases that are caused by specific thoughts. And I would decline to do that, because we're trying to make a condensed cookbook to take care of these things, and that's not the way it works. We are all unique, and we must be dealt with on a unique basis. And that's the way it should be, and that's the way we want it to be, because that really ensures our freedom of thought.
Mm-hmm.
So one issue, much like the stomach issue with the ulcer, would be that overwhelming worry or fear about something. But what I worry or fear would be very different from what you worry or fear,
Exactly.
or what Marion would worry or
So
fear.
you need to find the source of that fear and deal with that, and then you can replace the part etherically.
That's why I say you must have the thought surgeons.
So what do you actually talk about in the book, in the first volume?
Oh, I have a lot of different things. Really, I try to, it opens with the one thought, and And the whole thing really revolves around this thought, and it's not original by me by any means. We are not a physical person having a spiritual experience. We are a spiritual person having a physical experience. And in one sense, you could say that we have been brought into this body, this physical body. That can be one of two things. At first, it can be a prison, or it can be the most liberating tool that you could ever possibly have, because it liberates you to see the divine spark that is within you and how you can become that high spiritual being that is a happy and fulfilled person in all aspects of their life. But you must understand why you have a physical body. It's not just an accident. And it's not here, you're not put here to have a minimal experience between birth and death. It means that it is a fantastic journey in which you are joining and helping expand the God force right on the face of the earth between all people. And there's nothing more exciting than that.
That's wonderful. There is nothing.
There is nothing more exciting, that's so true. And you describe all of that in Spiritual
That's true.
Anatomy, Book 1.
I have some cosmology in there a little bit just to show man's relationship and status with the angels and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Just to I try to help everyone know where they have been, where they are, and where they're going. If you don't have that, you're not ready yet. You just haven't arrived yet. You have to come to that place where you must know why I'm here and where I'm going.
So these books will help us
Yeah.
understand those kind
Yes, it
of
will.
concepts
Mhm.
and help understand how we can self-heal.
Yes. All, as I said, and I love to say it, it is only self-healing.
It is
Only
only
self-healing.
self-healing. Don't tell your patients that.
Even in regular allopathic medicine, it is the same is true there.
Right.
The same thing. No difference.
It's the relationship of the defined healer to the defined patient that opens up the doorway of that relationship to actually connect to that bigger relationship that allows that to
Yes.
flow through.
Yes.
And you heard it here, or will if you get these books. Spiritual Anatomy, Book 1 and Book 2 by Marshall Smith, with also some notes from Patricia Hayes in here, your lovely wife.
Mhm.
And where could we get these books?
From me personally?
They're on Patricia's website now at
Are they?
Patricia Hayes Art.
They're been also sold at Delphi.
Mhm.
So if we went to Delphi University, they have
Delphi
them there.
University, yes.
And then on patriciahayesart.com.
Right.
Right, Hayes, patriciahayesart.com.
And we'll be blogging and putting links to that on our website as well at shiftyourlife.com, because we really believe in what Marshall is speaking to in here, because it's so powerful. This is the basis of holistic healing.
That's true.
It is, absolutely. So we highly recommend these books. Thank you so much for being with us, Marshall.
Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure.